Bum bum bum. Hello. Bum 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 bum. All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome back. All right. So we was a little bit of off-screen chatter, and I went pee. I don't know if anybody else did because I ran away because I had to pee really bad. Just keep you updated. I know you guys care about my bodily functions. Neil was
My
literally asking.
humours are a bit out of balance, says Scott.
Okay. So, more or less where we left off was you guys are, why don't we at least explore this land? We've looked around it a bit, but we really didn't explore this land beyond fighting for our lives, being flown in by a bird, and walking through it a few times. So to explore this land, what you need to do is, because it's forest land, it actually takes about 3 days' time by way of foot. Since you don't have horses here, you're stuck to being it by way of foot. Hey, guess what? 72 hours is what you guys have. So the exploration phase, and that is literally this hex right here that you're looking over, the one that has most of the keep and the bird sitting on it. That's there. So a couple things to note about that time is it is in fact a dense forest. You notice kind of like the areas where there are creatures that live around here. You notice that there are really no immediate threats by way of monsters, by way of like goblin kin or anything like that. Those don't really exist around here. The biggest threats that your people are going to have to suffer is typical threats that you find inside of a forest. Bears exist here. If you were to like rile up the elk and whatnot, those exist here.
Wolves.
Wolves exist here. Things like that.
I like how you go to elk before wolf.
Yeah, I was like, elk? What?
Well, sorry. It's funny too because I forgot wolves were a thing.
I was like, fair enough. Bears are a problem, but elk over wolves.
Yeah, I forgot wolves were because you guys don't have wolves in the UK. Didn't you kill all of them?
Yeah.
Yeah, like we killed all mountain lions out here. They don't exist in New England. Last one was killed was
There's
like 150
there's discussion
years ago.
about reintroducing them to Scotland or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
Because we have many people who have to hunt deer to keep the populations in check.
Yeah.
For forests, like certain forests can only support so many.
I know New Zealand has a lot of issues of like invasive species that were brought there by England because England sucks. So
Australia too.
Yeah.
You're an
they have
invasive
wolves, though.
species. You two are invasive species.
Yeah.
Not me though, because humans have existed in the Americas for like 150,000 years. So I mean, just saying.
I mean, humans have existed here for a long time. It's just the reason why we're invasive is because we came from England.
Yeah.
Like.
So you're not an
Hey,
invasive
I mean-
species. You're
Hey.
an invasive, culture.
Subspecies.
Vikings,
No, it's not
Vikings,
subspecies. What?
Vikings came over and we're just passing it
No,
on.
no,
Romans
just-
came over, we're just passing it on. French came over, Normans came over, we're just passing it on.
So you guys
Spread
explore
that
the
love,
area.
baby.
Sorry.
And you realize the dangers there are the typical dangers that you're going to find in any other forest, right? The issue is consumption. How much food are you going to be able to produce inside of a forest? How much can you really forage to maintain your people? So you kind of like get that in mind. Is something that you've talked about beforehand, why you were thinking about Rid. Another concern that you're going to have is, like I said, the creatures that live out in that area. Roads. How are you going to be able to maintain much by way? But all these things are things that you've discovered. Overall, it's actually kind of a serene place. Things in this area seem to be really nice and picturesque. You can see if you wanted to build a forest nation, you could actually build a decent chunk of land without ever leaving the forests and be happy with it. At the same time, you could burn down the forest and clear out the whole area if you wanted to. You actually find a nice little location over near a creek where there's like a little bit of stream going by where you could even, if you wanted to, build a sawmill or something like that where you can have like a really good area where you can have lumberjacks cutting down the forest. You can have the aid of a small stream that helps to kind of like process this wood, maintaining kind of like the stream, spinning the big wheel, which maintains the table saw, so on and so forth. You actually have like a decent area where you can really establish this for yourselves, and you kind of realize that this is a really, really good location. Those 72 hours that you spent trekking is a hard 72 hours. It is not easy by any stretch. Poor Elliot has to put his boots back on. He's not much of a traveler. He's more of a scholar, right? But he travels with you and actually is able to maintain a small degree of cartography of what's maintained as it goes. So why don't we actually have Elliot make a check of this cartography that he does as you guys maintain that land? Elliot, here you are.
Oh,
Okay, Josh, don't let us down.
Oh, I didn't have that upgraded on the sheet yet, but I'm going to roll Profession Entertainer Scribe for it, even if it's technically a different skill. I rolled a 23 for it. That is, he does an incredibly good job as you guys go in your way through. He's not really. I'm not gonna portray Elliot as being a whiner. He's not. He just clearly doesn't enjoy the trudging through the forest and the constantly being attacked by mosquitoes and stuff like that he has to deal with. But in the end, when you guys finally make your way back to the keep on that third day, and later in the third day, we're talking like 2 hours to spare before you think the 72 are up. You guys are kind of like opening up the papers, the many different like parchments that he's drawn on. There's one like scaled down hardcore, so he can see like everything that is mapped out very well, and then also the individual parchments that he's going to have to kind of like piecemeal and make the end result put together after all. It's actually done really, really well. You can really see mapped out, and even he's annotated areas where you've discussed, oh, this would actually be kind of a good area to set up a defensive position. Oh, a watchtower would be really nice over here. I can actually see an inn benefiting from all that stuff that you discussed. He has it annotated very well for you. It's kind of was a good benefit to having him there. And you guys are pulled back to the keep. At this point in time, I'd invite you guys, if you want to have any big RP that happened during travel, anything kind of pull you towards that, or no, we're back at the keep now. Cool, back at the keep now. Then let's get into some of the mechanical aspect of how this game actually works. Okay, so I'm actually gonna put this into chat. This is into Twitch chat. The link of how Pathfinder kingdom building rules work. This is from the PFSRD, so it works from this. I have ever so slight changes to this, and I mean like very, very minimal, and we'll pick them up as we go. For the most part, assume that these are the rules that we're working with. Okay. Excuse me. So important things to note, and then there's also. I have a link to our actual kingdom statistics, like our kingdom tracker. I'm going to share that with Patreon immediately and later on all of chat, but not yet, not until after the stream ends, until we really get familiarity with it amongst the PCs. So I have a link that the party will be looking at as well. That's not going to be shared with you guys quite just yet, okay? So back to the actual kingdom building rules. There's a lot of shit there, a lot of stuff. You don't have to worry about what that is. The important thing to note is that one of the first things that you guys are going to have to do when actually establishing a kingdom is choosing the alignment of the kingdom. You're also going to have to choose who has which leadership roles amongst yourself based off the list of leadership roles, which was really cool on that Google Doc that I sent you. If you highlight over the various roles, like say Magister versus Marshal versus Treasurer, it literally tells you what you affect for the kingdom mechanics. Kingdom mechanics being economy, loyalty, and stability. And it tells you which attribute you choose to use to affect those as well. Oh, shit. I just closed that link that I just sent to everybody.
Mine does not show me. I have to click on them individually, I think.
You can't hover and it shows you? Are you using Chrome?
I'm using Brave, which uses Chromium, so it should be working as Chrome.
Wait. Is that a different... So Chrome is a browser? Is that a different browser?
Yeah, Brave is a different browser, but it uses the same base as Chrome. It uses the Chromium, which is what runs Chrome.
Are you inside Google Docs looking at the sheet?
Go down to the bottom of the page. Oh, I was not on the Google Docs page. I was on something else.
Gotcha. Yeah.
I was on the other page you linked.
Gotcha. There you go. Okay, cool. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah. No, that does. I see it now.
Cool. So you guys are gonna have to choose which positions each of you maintain, so on and so forth, and other advisors. You know, whoever you choose to keep, but you don't have a lot of options right now. What positions they take. Then you start your treasury. I'm gonna get to what your build points are in a minute. And then we start kind of like adding things in from there and moving forward. So the way the kingdom actually works is every month that passes, you guys have one kingdom phase, right? So that kind of works at the beginning of the month for what it is you intend to do for this month. We're not literally going to have, for this session we are, but moving forward, we're not going to have month jump times. That's going to be very rare, where we just have a whole kingdom phase goes. What it is you're going to tell me your intention for the month. So it's going to be kind of like when you roll for economy, so on and so forth, all that stuff happens. It's going to be kind of like a sure up of last month, beginning of this month, and then we're going to like move forward for these are my intentions. So by the end of the month, this hex will be claimed. By the end of the month, this building will be built, so on and so forth. Okay, so that's kind of be how it plays out for you as we go. Anything else I feel like I need to go over? Oh, you also are going to have to choose your form of government, which is kind of funny. I didn't expect this, but I think you're choosing a theocracy, which is kind of funny, but we'll get to that shortly. You're going to choose your form of government as well. And then we're going to kind of like choose build points. There is a bit of a wealthy sponsor that's happening for the beginning of this game. Again, I'm going to get to build points and some perks that you have based off of the location that you chose in a minute. So I guess before we even get into the location you choose, you guys had discussed back and forth which government you wanted. So if you scroll down to the forms of government area or click the hyperlink to it, you're going to see this autocracy down to theocracy. Autocracy is, by popular acclaim, more or less, like you can be elected, but more or less you guys are heroes, so you're just like, autocracy is the most simplistic one. Almost everybody does an autocracy. But based off the conversation you guys were saying beforehand, do you want to do a theocracy? It's ruled by religion, religious ideals, so on and so forth. And autocracy has no modifiers. It's like an old school being human. A theocracy comes with, you have a -1 to corruption, which means a theocracy has less corruption than others. A +1 to law. You have more law than others. You have more lore because you're literally spreading the knowledge of your faith and whatnot. But also you take a penalty to society. Societies don't really flourish as easily in a theocracy because more or less you're telling you this is your society versus we get to choose our own. Abusive Naga says oligarchy.
Yeah, so I guess we're either a theocracy or an oligarchy.
Funny one. What requires 45 days? Just make sure I don't miss something. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Neil.
Because either you can go from the fact that we're a group of counselors, people of power, or theocracy ruled by a leader of its most popular religion.
Mm-hmm.
I think theocracy is what we've decided on from
That's
our
what I'm
previous
for.
discussions.
I think so.
If you're pushing forward the concept of maybe Perrin will stay out because their god's not allowed and ours is, theocracy is where I lean towards just because of that one conversation. Prior to that, I actually was originally thinking autocracy or overlord, which I thought was funny. But
We actually spoke about it a few times, the theocracy
Well,
angle.
also saying that like each of us are the more or less chosen of a god, and that's how we're
And that's how we play the equal rule. And also we can play up the fact that the curse may or may not still exist.
cool.
I mean, technically that's true for Valorant though, isn't he actually like a chosen of his god?
Are we not chosen of the martyr? Are you not chosen of the Vroga though?
Yeah, I mean, the master did choose both of you as well, so.
But I mean, especially you. So that's not far from the
maybe
truth.
I was the tool to just bring you two in. I don't know.
Yeah, he's like the little weak shrimp holding the huge, amazing sword and shield.
I
mean, we still need him, but
yeah. Valorant's idea of it is that he was chosen specifically because he was questioning the parents' way of doing things.
Cool.
he's
When
appearing
it
with
happened.
compassion.
Yeah.
All right, awesome. So I'm glad we chose the what we're doing, which is a theocracy. Awesome.
Yep.
The next thing I need you guys to choose for me is the alignment. Now, you may not have seen where things happen, but when it comes to choosing any form of neutrality, increases your stability by 2. Choosing chaotic increases loyalty by 2. People like it when there's not an overpeating, like when your government's not on your back. Choosing evil increases your economy by 2. choosing lawful increases your economy by 2, and choosing good increases loyalty. So if you're chaotic good, which makes no sense for this party, if you're chaotic good, people are very loyal because they know you got their back, you have the best interest in mind, but you're not looking over their shoulder. If you're lawful evil, you have the best economy because you'll do what you need to make that money, but you also impose all these laws that, like, so on and so forth. So you have to... and again, neutrality is stability. So you kind of have to choose which alignment makes sense. Just for, even though it's a bit more esoteric, state out loud what your character's alignments are.
I believe it was neutral good. Let me make sure on that.
I'm true neutral, but I lean chaotic because
Of course, you're God.
ain't nothing gonna hold me down.
I'm lawful neutral.
Where is it actually written on my sheet?
Top of the primary page or all the pages or whatever, very top.
Neutral good. Found it. Yep.
So neutral good, true neutral. What was the other one?
Lawful neutral.
Lawful neutral. Okay. And then Neil, if I remember correctly, you are going for the goddess Winifred, who is actually also lawful neutral.
Yep.
You true neutral. You're going
I
for the
aligned
god.
so well.
Yeah.
You're going for the god chaotic neutral, and I think you're going for the god that's lawful good, right?
I don't. Whatever the martyr is, I don't actually know her personally.
Yep, you're fine. So she's lawful good. So that has for ticks of neutral. For a neutral as a secondary stat, lawful neutral, so on and so forth. It's pretty hardcore neutral. For good versus evil, there's a lot of neutrality there. You are neither good nor evil, with a slight lenient towards good. So you guys can actually choose neutral or good. I put my thumb on neutral, but I will not tell you what you have to be. You're
I
gonna
would
have to
agree
lead your
neutral.
nation that way.
I think neutral. I think neutral's good because I think the idea with how we're doing it, if we're all taking different jobs, part of what I assume mine would end up being would be filling in that part that needs the good part.
I can easily imagine Valrin going and feeding a village of people who are starving. And I can also easily imagine one going and killing absolutely everyone in a village because they're worshippers of Lady Erebon.
Yeah, I think neutral's good for the whole thing. Neutral.
Cool. And then honestly, I think this is why what we were getting to with saying the whole thing. For lawful versus chaotic, you have 2 lawful party members with 2 lawful gods. Sorry. 1 lawful party member with 2 lawful gods, leaving 2 neutral party members with a chaotic god. So again, heavily leans towards neutral there, with a slight lean towards lawful one way, but hard chaos the other way. I honestly think true neutral ends up being
It does
probably.
So
I mean, if we compute all of those, you end up pretty much slap bang.
which is not a bad thing. That's plus 4 to stability.
That we actually kind of just worked well with the whole benefit, like each other's strengths. Like, you
that's
will
true.
keep me
Yeah,
in
that's
check
true.
when-
If you have, you want to
yeah,
be.
you will keep me in check when it's a situation we can't like do the good thing because it would screw us over. Whereas I will also keep you guys in check when it's like, hey, let's not be overly cruel.
So it's funny because it's literally one of those things where it's like there are laws in place, but there are exceptions to those laws, and those laws are often laws of logic and reason. You know what I mean? So like, but sometimes there's also shit happens.
Off the word of the law, not the writing of the law.
Correct.
The intent of the law, rather, I think is the.
Well, but this is of your nation, not of you.
Yeah, no, but like, that's what I mean. Like, it's the sort of things that the intent of the law. So exceptions.
Yeah, of course. So true neutral that's hilarious. Population, don't worry about that yet. That's actually done by like settlement. Your kingdom size is automatically going to be that because it's 1 hex, so it's kingdom size 1. I am going to need from you guys a name for your kingdom. I expect chat, Twitch. Feel free to throw a whole bunch of names out there for them to look at. I don't need that name quite just yet, but have that in mind.
How have we gone this long without thinking of a name when we knew it was coming?
Because it felt forever away. It felt forever away, right? Didn't it?
Yeah, and it's like, oh, we need a name.
Okay, so looking at the positions of leadership, and I had sent you guys like a page forever ago when we first started the kingdom of how the shit works. For the positions of leadership, you kind of have to choose for yourselves now who's taking what position. and only amongst the party. All I care about right now are the PCs. Who's taking what position? I can tell you it's mandatory. Somebody takes the position of ruler. Ruler is the most complicated one. It's literally choose one kingdom attribute, economy, loyalty, or stability. You get to choose and add your charisma modifier to this attribute. So this, theoretically, if I were to suggest, would be Tesh's character. He was the one that would be considered the king if we were doing a typical, but he's not. We're not doing a typical. He's just the mouthpiece,
I'm
right?
glad I got profession oratory. I picked that up while leveling up. I gave it the 1 point, so it jumped to 7. So.
So yeah, you very likely, I would suggest this be you, but you're going to choose which area you're going to affect afterwards. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So the other two, and feel free to weigh in, Tesh, need to choose their positions. And by the way, the reason why I threw you there is because it has to be charisma, and you're the highest charisma person.
Yeah, I saw that it was charisma, and yeah, I have 17. So.
Okay, so you boys, what are you thinking for your positions? I think you've already thought about this beforehand, Jake.
Yeah,
Royal
I'd be looking at
Enforcer.
either high priest or a general. Would be either one.
High priest is charisma or wisdom, and added to specifically stability. General is charisma or strength, and it's added no matter what to stability. So you want to focus on stability.
Yeah. Rayron's background would be more suited to that, though, but I don't know if that's where he wants to go.
For general?
For general, let me have a look.
Charisma or strength, those are not good stats for him.
They are not in any sense good for me.
I mean,
unfunny one. Val is
is
definitely set at ruler. Just to be clear, okay.
yeah, I'm pretty sure that's happening. Yeah. as Josh is saying, it does make sense.
I would fit well into Grand Diplomat because you can add intelligence modifier. Magister. Marshal.
And if you need to know what these words mean beyond them just being words, and we can rename the words, mind you.
Yeah.
Feel free.
Spy Master.
Those are kind of like not important early on.
Treasurer.
But like Marshal, I believe adds to economy, don't they?
Viceroy.
Yeah, it's economy.
Oh, but you don't need that. Okay. Marshal. You add.
So Marshal ensures.
You don't add to anything.
So Marshal, actually, this might be a good one for you. You add to economy. This might be a good one for you, sir. The Marshal ensures that the kingdom's laws are being enforced in the remote parts of the kingdom as well as in the vicinity of the capital. The Marshal is also responsible for securing the kingdom's borders. He orders regular patrols and works with the general to respond to threats that militias and adventurers can't deal with alone.
And that fits with his background
actually
as well.
fits really well. And
Border
that fits
guard,
well
yeah.
with- Then we have the general being one. That actually, I think that actually really works.
Oh, actually,
like that. So Rayron is like the technical of the army, the defense and all that, and then one is the brute force of the army.
Do you reckon general, or should I go the high priest angle?
So general, just so you know, vacancy is an important thing. Having a vacant general decreases loyalty by 4. And right now you don't have a lot of NPCs. Though Celsier did just jump into a higher tier on Patreon. And so Celsier is going to be designing an advisor as well. And don't forget, you know other people too. Theoretically, you can fishhook somebody like, say, Dwayne, and pull him in and have him play a position as well, if you think that he's somebody you can trust for a short period of time.
He's been sneaky. We might be able to make him spy master.
So just ideas.
I don't think he's that sneaky.
Not having a general decreases loyalty by 4. Not having a high priest, which it would be hilarious in a theocracy,
Unrest increases by 1.
Unrest increases by 1, and stability and loyalty both decrease by 2.
So I think High Priest probably.
Is probably one of the most important ones for a fucking theocracy, especially.
Yeah,
I think you're right, actually.
I would be the High Priest then.
I think that also kind of fits with the idea that we're not necessarily attacking anyone yet. We're defending this area we're making.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, I can.
Later on we can shuffle around. Probably.
Yeah, I
if
can
we
go.
find
I can
better
go Magister
candidates.
or Marshal at this point. It makes no difference because they're both added to economy, and my modifiers are the same.
I
And
kind of like the
the
idea
pen-
of Marshall.
Yeah,
Penalty,
Marshall makes sense for your background.
I agree. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
I really kind of like that.
Yeah. All right, cool. So oh wait, you guys can't edit yet. So we have High Priest is going to be 1. Ruler or Speaker, we're gonna have to name your positions, by the way, is going to be Valoran.
Let me refresh, see if it updates. Oh, okay. So it's up. I have to refresh for it to update with you.
Marshall is going to be you, Neil, which is Rayrin. Cool. Now, if you had to choose, because you obviously know, if you choose to put him there, you guys currently have Elliot with you. There's going to be a whole RP thing for this. An idea to think about is where Elliot's strengths will lie. Have you guys seen Elliot's stats before or no?
Nope.
I would probably either put him in Magister or
Counselor.
Ambassador or Grand Diplomat. What's Chancellor?
You know, I'm not going to show you his
He does
stats.
have local knowledge, doesn't he? Actually,
I'm not going to show you his stats, but I will tell you that he is clearly not. He's clearly very intelligent, and he's clearly charismatic. That part you know.
Okay. Grand
However,
Diplomat.
Yeah.
He was really good at diffusing the situation with the bandits. With the bank.
I was to say, however, he has made questionable decisions, and he is not the most combat capable.
so Counselor would be good
That's a good point. Yeah. Oh, can I?
because he doesn't have to make any decisions on his own.
He
just
can use
advises.
charisma for yeah. Oh wait, no, that's the wrong one. Charisma. Yeah, he can use
Charisma, yeah,
Counselor,
the
yeah.
loyalty. And also having Counselor, unrest increases by 1 in the upkeep phase. So I think we should fill that role with him.
Cool. So you want, and we're gonna have a in-game discussion about that because that'll be fun. We're just kind of like building the sheet as we go. His name is Elliot Mon. Is it 2 T's in Elliot? I don't remember. And there's 2 N's.
No, there's only 1 T in Elliot.
It's
isn't
2
it?
L's though. It's 2 L's. That's why it looked funny
Yeah.
to me.
The kingdom gains no benefit from the holidays. No.
And then the last one I'm going to point out, if you chose, because I'm going to tell you he's clearly going to make his way to you guys because he liked you guys. You have Kithul. Kithul himself is clearly a combat-capable person, being both like strong and tough. And while not being very verbose, he was contemplative in how he approached things.
What's the Royal Enforcer?
Strength or Dex.
Let me look at what the actual position is.
Might be good.
Why do I already have to pee again? I had way too much coffee on an empty stomach.
I also
Royal
need
Enforcer. The Royal Enforcer. The Royal Enforcer deals with punishing criminals, working with the counselor to make sure the citizens feel the government is adequately dealing with wrongdoers, and working with the marshal to capture fugitives from the law. The Royal Enforcer may grant civilians authority to kill in the name of the law.
However, I'd like to point out there's no penalty to having it empty, and if you fail a loyalty check, it decreases by 1.
What does Warden do?
Similar to-
Another mechanic that you should also think about, is that when your characters are not directly handling situations, when you pass them off to people like Elliot or Kithul, it does also go into their alignment. Like, I don't know if you know Elliot's alignments, but you probably got a general idea of his personality. I don't know if you know Kithul's, but you
True
probably
bitch.
You probably got a general idea, so you have to understand that.
Wait, I can look at Warden. What am I doing? I've got a whole thing over here. Warden.
So I would detect alignment on Elliot as I have it. So
Detect alignment. I'm gonna, if I remember correctly, detect alignment doesn't work exactly as you're hoping it does right now.
detect chaos, detect evil, detect good, and detect law.
Warden might
Yeah,
be a
but
good
that's
job
not like
for it.
any. It's not like you instantly know somebody's alignment. Oh wait, no. If I remember correctly, it's actually only if somebody has an extreme alignment do you know.
One just steps up to Elliot and licks the side of his face, and then goes, "Good."
Evil.
And he means flavor, not actual. So my apologies. Somebody was just asking me a question about one of the positions.
Warden. I was saying Warden might be
Warden.
good for kids.
So a warden is Constitution or Strength. Without it, it's loyalty and stability. The warden is responsible for enforcing laws in larger settlements as well as ensuring the safety of the kingdom leaders. So literally looking after you guys. The warden also works with the general to deploy forces and protection settlement. There is no general right now, so more or less the warden and the marshal will be working together.
Yeah. That could work for him because he's good at healing as well as the other thing. What is he?
Mm-hmm. Yep. He has spellcasting.
He's strong and constitution, so yeah.
And I feel like having a warden that is literally made of stone might be a good like deterrence to.
Yeah, agreed. Oh no, it's the stone warden.
I gotta pee so bad. I'll be right back. God, way too much coffee on an empty stomach. I'll be right back. You guys.
Yeah, I know.
keep
Like
chatting.
we both said that we also need to. He's like, nah.
If
Just
he
me.
pees, I want to pee. This just isn't fair.
This is not okay. But I
Really
mean,
not.
are there any other jobs that really fit him?
I don't think so. Not particularly.
He's
He could
also
do
the
treasurer.
sorcery- Yeah.
Actually, that might be really important because the kingdom cannot collect taxes during the edict phase.
He can't. I don't know if he's intelligence or wisdom.
He's wisdom.
Is
He's a
he?
wisdom caster.
Oh, that could be a thing.
I mean, we'll check with Scott, but I'm fairly certain he's a wisdom caster.
The other thing is we might have someone else. We might have another NPC coming that might be able to fit that better
Yeah.
in terms
Or
of character.
yeah, or we could. Yeah, I mean. Yeah.
I definitely see what you mean. I want
Treasure
that.
is intelligence based, is it?
Yeah, so we could actually swap. So I would take like treasurer, and he would
Or
take.
could we put Elliot as treasurer and Cthulhu as counselor?
I feel like Elliot's
Elliot will
charisma
steal from
is.
us.
I feel like Elliot's charisma is higher than his intelligence. Though
Yeah.
I know he didn't
Oh.
act like that in his first few sessions because he's a total cockwomble. But
That was very good. Yeah, it's interesting.
I think. Oh, he's an adept.
I
Yeah,
don't
which
know
means
what
a
that
spellcaster. It's like a weaker
Yeah,
version
right.
of cleric and sorcerer.
Does he cast? He casts with wisdom.
Adepts cast with wisdom, correct?
Yeah. Or he could go in general, and I quite like the idea of Kithel being general because he's wise.
That's true.
So he's strong, so he can fight and lead the men, but he's also wise enough to not just charge a load of cavalry into a bunch of spearmen or murder people for no reason.
Both warden and general work into that same idea, right?
Yeah.
But general is about like armies, which you don't really have an army right now, but it's still important. Wardens, so one's more offensive, one's more defensive.
Yeah.
That's how you have to kind of think of it.
I mean, as a general, he would be able to inspire a lot of, like, with the healing and being made of stone.
yeah. I think.
I feel like he might be better as a warden now, and then
Yeah.
a general. But I don't know.
Yeah. Okay.
Up to you.
The other thing we noticed is, Scott, we don't have a treasurer, which means we won't get any taxes.
Wait, hold on. Let me read the vacancy on that one. Treasurer, economy decrease. The kingdom cannot collect taxes during the edict phase. When you normally collect taxes, the kingdom. Wow, that sounds shitty.
So I might
Yeah.
have to take treasurer.
But again, that can be. We're going to take care of that in a moment. So you don't worry about that yet. I will take care of that for you. Because I'm going to fill some spots. I can't leave you with nothing.
Oh, okay.
Okay, cool.
Okay, then what do you think, Warden or?
Yeah, let's whack him in, Warden, then.
Yeah, I like that.
Because as you said, we don't have
Okay. So that
For his character.
puts him in Warden, and so that's where everything is that you have control of at the moment. Now, just a quick question, and feel free to say, I would rather RP about it first. Do you have any interest in Dwayne at all, or no, fuck that
yes,
guy?
he should be a spy master.
Oh, you do actually have an interest in Dwayne.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, he seems like an interesting character and also quite capable.
He's arguably he's one of the Dex ones, so he's arguably we put him in spy master, or what was the other one? Oh, there was another one I was thinking of.
I think Spyman's definitely fits with what we've seen of his character so far in terms of gathering information. Yeah.
Cool. So Val, sorry. So 1, you are using your wisdom modifier to affect stability. Your wisdom modifier is what?
+3.
So stability has a +3 bonus. Thank you. Marshall.
My
Ray-Ray.
highest is wisdom and strength. They're both +3.
Okay.
So
Neil, your dexterity modifier to affect economy. What's your dex modifier?
+3.
That's what did I just say? Economy. Yeah. And Valrin, you're using your whatever modifier, but don't worry about that yet because let's see, counselor is going to be loyalty, and you're using his charisma, so he gets a +2.
Oh my god, he's only got 2.
For charisma.
Put him in an intelligence roll.
And then Warden is going to be, you're choosing his strength or con, because those are both the same for him. Adding that to loyalty, so that's going to be a +3. Cool.
Did we put him in the wrong role? the Elliot we're talking about.
Not necessarily, because look at the penalty of him not being there. Sometimes the penalty outweighs the benefit.
That's true.
And so, lastly, Valrin, did you want to choose where? Oh, sorry. Dwayne. Were you thinking of Dwayne for Spymaster?
What are we? Upkeep phase. Oh, increases unrest. Yeah, we do want Spymaster. Oh.
So this is going to be Dwayne. So
because that's another unrest one. So
NPCs.
Oh, economy decreases by 4. Yeah, no, we want him in there.
NPCs that are I'm just telling you like a mechanic thing. One of the things that I'm going to be doing to take care of this. NPCs that aren't either created by patrons on Patreon or that aren't like long time building up, took this person into your kingdom, Dwayne was like a really quickie kind of thing. They're generally only going to have a modifier of 2 for the greater attribute. So Dwayne is more or less, you chose Dex as his better attribute. It's only a 2. That's where it kind of sits. You know what I'm saying with that? So, and he gets to add that to intelligence modifier to what does he add to?
Intelligence or Dex.
But to what? What does that say? Sorry, where's
Spymaster? He adds it to any attribute, economy, loyalty.
Oh, you get to choose. Cool.
During the edict phase.
Cool. So that being said, let's choose where Dwayne goes, and let's choose where Val goes. Where do you want Dwayne to apply his to?
Probably if we put one in stability and then the other one goes in economy.
Remember, we have a really good starting stability, so it might be worth putting mine and his in economy and loyalty.
But we have good loyalty, right?
You can see it on the character sheet, on the sheet, right?
I thought neutral.
So loyalty is 5, stability is 7, economy is 3.
But neutral, we're getting a plus what for
stability,
which is already applied.
Yeah. So I think adding the 3 to loyalty and 3 to economy is a good idea.
We don't need it in loyalty though.
So
we add a
3
to we add a 3 to economy and a 2 to loyalty in that case.
Okay, because you kept saying we don't need loyalty. I think you meant we don't need stability. I think you were
2 to
mistaking
loyalty and 3 to economy. Yeah.
There you go. Cool. So that gets you to a total of a 6 and a 677 currently. Cool. I just need to factor in something else. So the positions that we're leaving open for now, Viceroy, If you have no viceroy for your state, treat it as if you had a vacant ruler penalty. Viceroy is supposed to represent the ruler's interests on an ongoing basis for specific locations such as colony, vassal state, So this is viceroy is in effect if the ruler for that viceroy is in effect the ruler for that territory if he orders or supersedes. Oh, so this is for vassal states. My apologies. Viceroy does not matter if you have no vassal states. So we're good there. So Viceroy does nothing. So we're just going to hyphen these across the board, and we're good to go, okay? And Viceroy is going to be... do you want me to do NA or empty? Or just leave it blank?
NA.
NA?
NA.
Because it's not applicable.
Yeah.
Okay. So Viceroy, again, does not matter if you don't have vassal states. Vassal states could be cool if you wanted to, like, again, remember that secondary kingdom I talked about? Something like that.
Yeah.
Cool.
When you did NA, it actually put dashes in the three things.
I did that.
Oh, you did that?
Yeah,
oh,
okay. yeah. So I wish it was that did that. A treasurer, we're gonna worry about that in a minute. Royal enforcer. By not having a royal enforcer during the upkeep phase, you may vacancy, no penalty for not having a royal enforcer. So we're gonna have royal enforcer B N A, and it's gonna be hyphen. These are those extra spots. Magister. You are coming in without a magister. Sorry, boys. So without a magister, your economy decreases by 4. It's being left vacant.
Maybe we should put that 2 from Dwayne in economy.
But the problem is a magister specifically is somebody that does
but
magic.
we're going to take -4 from the general anyway.
He's not a magic-y person. You know
that doesn't matter because Spymaster's capable of it.
Capable of what?
Putting the bonus into... I'm talking about Spymaster can put their bonus in any one of the 3.
Yes.
So he doesn't...
Correct.
Not a requirement.
Okay. I thought there was a spot...
We'll do this and see what's the lowest, and we'll move his and mine around because we can adjust ours.
Sorry, I thought there was a spot where I could actually click vacancies, and it automatically applied shit. If it doesn't, that's fine. I thought there was a spot that did it. Let me just check something really quickly. Again, if not, I just do it myself. No, it doesn't. Okay. I just manually apply. Cool. So I'm going to write for ones that actually apply a penalty. So for Magister, I'm actually going to write vacant as opposed to NA. Okay? I think I spelled vacant correct. And that applies a penalty of economy -4, which sucks.
Oh, Josh asked an intriguing question.
Shoot.
In chat.
What's that? Do character feats override attribute with kingdom building rules? As raw, no. However, Josh, if you'd like to ping me on that, DM me of that on Discord to remind me, I will look into that sort of a thing being a factor. That could be fun. Let's look into that sort of a thing. All right, so next one we're looking at is air. Air does not matter. You guys do not need an air. It's a NA. Hyphen. All right, Grand's Diplomat. You're going to start without a Grand Diplomat. Kingdom cannot issue diplomatic or exploration edicts without a Grand's Diplomat. Just to be sure about that, because I want to make sure that I'm not cutting ourselves off at the legs. Because again, we're kind of like learning this together. Edict phase. Exploration edicts. Where is this? Modify exploration edict. Exploration edict. Where are you? Expanding settlement. Exploration edicts are a special edict that allows you to commission explorers to map unclaimed hexes and prepare them for your kingdom. You may choose to accompany the explorers. On commission expedition, you must determine. Okay, so what this is exploration edicts are different. That's not like you looking at a hex that's adjacent to yours. That's exploring hexes that are far out there and letting somebody else deal with it. So you'll be fine without that. But you do lose 2 stability without a Grand Diplomat.
We want the blacksmith to be a blacksmith, Steve.
Yeah, that actually has a factor. So vacant. Oh, shit. Where am I writing? So vacant.
I can't believe you just went and weed without us, Scott. I'm actually disgruntled by that.
I peed without you. You can run off. Go. Bye.
But I wanted us to pee together on different sides of the globe. All 3 of us could have peed. at the same time. Illuminati confirmed.
Why don't all three of you guys go pee together while I fill in the rest of these?
Fine, I'm gonna go pee.
Next is general. We're missing a general.
I will also be back.
All right, there you go. Vacant. This is a -2 stability actually, so this is actually a -2. Vacant in general. Vacant is going to leave them with a -4 loyalty, which sucks. Council they have, and a consort. Let's remind what a consort is. Consort is usually the spouse of the ruler and spends time attending court, speaking with his advisors and nobles, blah, 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 blah. There's no penalty for having it be vacant, so it doesn't really matter. It's more or less a backup position. So NA needs to not have a second dash at the end of it. So our final stats when you apply the penalties for the vacant positions, and there's some pretty intense penalties, is that there are a economy of 2, a loyalty of 3, and a stability of 5, just by people filling positions. And that's currently with the treasurer not being factored in. We'll worry about that when they come back and we kind of jump into it. We need to deal with some RP stuff as well. That's going to be a thing. After we get the RP and things situated, we're also going to have to worry about things like holidays, expansion, taxation, shit like that is going to be details. So those are edicts. So
What?
no, nothing. You're good. So we're gonna once they come back, we're gonna have to get back into a little bit of the RP stuff because currently your treasury is still empty. So if you look at your stats, the 2, 3, 5, that's because treasury is being ignored. With treasury empty, you actually have a -4, and you can't collect taxes. So that brings you to a total of a -2, right? So we're gonna deal with that in a moment. And I had already kind of expected this sort of thing to happen. I just wasn't sure which position it was going to be. So, and very likely, maybe Celsior hasn't thought about the character that they're going to design. Maybe they want to design one of these empty positions. Maybe they want to design somebody that looks good as a treasurer. I don't know. Celsior and I will speak after the session. I'll send them a message and we'll start designing what character they're going to make. Or maybe they just say, screw it, I'm going to make a douchebag. So, they might want to do something like a general because that's currently vacant too. Who knows? It's up to them. All right, so back to the other shit. You're waiting for the session to think. Makes sense.
Hey, kitten.
It's funny how whenever
Okay.
Neil sits down, I always see a pussy on screen.
Shit, son.
Uh,
Gunna response.
Neil, I thought you'd appreciate this shirt. The skull.
Oh my god, it's made of cats.
oh, that's awesome! That's so. I mean,
I love this shirt because you get the people that like avoid eye contact because they're like, oh, skull on shirt, don't want to deal with him, and then the people that you see the realization in their face when it connects, and I love watching it every time.
it's. I have kind of the exact opposite shirt. I have a shirt that has Elmo on it with a big mustache. And it says, this might tickle, just saying. And so, like, you'll get grandmas and whatnot, be like, oh my God, Elmo, that's so cute. Then you have people that realize what it means, and they're like, huh. Oh. So anyways.
That person, Scott.
Yeah. I love that shirt, though. I wear it less often now that I'm a dad, because, you know.
Don't want to have to ask.
Yeah. So anyways, let's kind of jump into other things. So we're going to do a little bit more RP, then we're going to go back to the mechanics aspect. Back to the RP. 70 hours pass. You're back at the keep. Everybody's exhausted. Your boots are soaked through. Like we're talking somebody's lighting a fire.
Excuse me, I have very good quality boots.
Your boots are soaked through. Somebody's lighting a fire. You're drying your clothes nearby. Food's being cooked.
Fire,
Everybody's relaxing. You literally have even though you guys have traveled a bunch, you've never traveled like before. It's always been, let's just take the best path to get. This is like no, all trudging, all through the worst parts of this terrain, all the best parts of this terrain, so on and so forth. It's been hard. So you got blisters on your feet. You're tired. You're aching. You're sore, and you have these last 2 hours before the 72 are up. Any RP you feel is pertinent between yourselves or Elliot prior to him reappearing?
That was exhausting.
So, we were thinking, Elliot, obviously, you heard what the old man said. If we're going to be doing this, we need all the help we can get. We thought perhaps we might rely on you to assume a position in the new government.
A position? What do you mean?
Well, you seem to have a way of talking with the common man. And that's a very important skill for people in charge, particularly speaking to people who need to be amenable to our way of thinking. We thought perhaps you might handle certain things in that way of letting us know what the people want and telling the people what we want.
Sounds like it's going to be a position that's a little bit. It's going to be time consuming.
Oh, yes.
Probably.
I overheard the entire conversation that happened between yourself and this unnamed figure. It sounds like you're building a literal kingdom and naming yourselves the kings or whatever title you come up with for this kingdom. Does this mean something I would have to swear fealty to you?
It would make you a lord.
Yes.
I love the yes. I would make you a lord.
There are a few things that I think we should discuss prior to my agreeing to swear fealty to the three of you. First of all, I've already told you beforehand that I work for another employer. This employer is not somebody I have any fealty to. It is somebody, however, that's given me the resources to be able to maintain my research far and abroad and accomplish certain discoveries that I've wanted to make. I can, of course, break off that relationship if it is beneficial for me to do so, meaning that you will be funding my research moving forward. It is not something I can immediately do. I first must finish the tasks that I already set out to complete. But once those are done, I can end that relationship with you picking up the cost. However, reaping the benefits of my research.
That seems like a fair proposition.
Your research has been quite valuable up until now.
And the other thing...
He gives him a look like, has it?
The other thing is the research in and of itself.
You forget that they spent days together just going over each other's research at this castle.
Oh, yeah. Giving each other a good going over.
He says the other thing is the research in and of itself. It's not necessarily just the funding of the research, but also the fact that that takes precedence in my mind over everything else. It is my life's work. While I would, of course, gladly serve the people and serve you for the benefit of everybody included, my research will always maintain my focus, though there are great lengths of time where I can remove myself from it as long as I'm continuing to accomplish it, as you have seen me traveling alongside you, me being in the thick of combat and the like. Understands that I will never be able to put down the pen. I'll never be able to lay the tome to rest. I will always be visiting libraries, and at some point in time, I will have to actually leave the nation to go visit other libraries to acquire other bits of research that I need, other people's accomplishments, to continue with my own.
You see Valorant's face visibly realize that, oh yeah, that's going to be real hard for him now. Oh.
Might I suggest that you are allowed an amount of allotted time to work on your research? All excursions abroad have to be confirmed with one of us, at which point we will decide whether it's appropriate to pay all your expenses, make sure you're sent safely to your location. And I would also suggest, I would ask for you to dedicate yourself for this role for now, and in future, perhaps we could discuss a role more appropriate to your wants. Perhaps you could take up your research as your main point of time and be paid for it.
One would also say, when you say that, you'd say maybe as far as the excursions go, confirmed with 2, and then you would look to Valorant and then back to Rayron and say, I feel that if you just went to Valorant every time, maybe you might just never be here.
Oh, you fucking got me!
That's a fair point.
I feel like every time I start churning like some shisty shit I'm gonna pull, Jake's always like, I got your number. Every time he fucking grabs me. God dude,
Yeah,
sorry Josh.
That's actually great.
I can picture Valorant and Elliot just disappearing.
Yeah, Valorant's about to protest, then he's just... Oh, fair enough.
We'd have some important meeting in our throne room, and one and Rayron would be there, and they'd just be waiting and looking at their non-existent wristwatches, and be like, "Where's Valorant? Oh, he left a note 5 days ago saying he's going to be gone for a few months."
Oh, I think Valorant does.
I found a cool cave. BRB.
No.
It had more architecture. I must know more. That's fair.
So he contemplates this silently, is hanging in the air for over a minute, just over a minute's time, and after that such a time, he then kind of straightens his back a bit and looks at you with a bit more of a serious and pointed tone, and he says, "Very well then. When the time comes when you actually establish your nation and you're looking for people to fill these roles, I'll be there. I will aid in this. To the greatest of my ability, I will do so. With the understanding that I currently am working under the employ of somebody else for certain research. That should be done within a year's time. And then at that time, we can discuss you flipping the bill to maintain my research moving forward for the benefit of your nation. Otherwise, I will have to find a different benefactor.
May I ask what it is you're researching at this point?
There's a lot of details, predominantly linguistics. The origin of language, the significance that they have, how it is that they intermingle, how it is to combine two languages together, the structure of these things. I know it sounds mundane, it sounds boring, but I found that by understanding the structure of a language, you can really manipulate the way people hear the words that you're saying. Sorry, hear the meaning of your words. There's other things to it as well. There's the magic of words, the significance of that, the magic of runes, the magic of script. There's a whole lot of research that needs to be done, and I feel as though it's kind of been left. I honestly think that there is something that the Mull specifically had that others don't. They use the type of runic magics, as we've seen.
Yes, we discussed. And I believe the last discussion we had on it ended not so amiably. And then we agreed to discuss its future use at a future point.
Well, if at the time that you... If there is a time in the future where I not only have fealties sworn to your kingdom, but also the research is being done at the cost of the kingdom for the benefit of the kingdom, I suppose then the decision of what's being done with the research would not be mine.
This is not a decision that I'm making for you. This is simply a matter as a scholar and as a reasonable human being. We discussed briefly some of the ethics of unleashing a powerful magic on a arguably morally questionable nature.
He nods. He recalls, of course, the entire conversation. And just to be clear, because I didn't get to say, he did say that the decision would not be mine. There was a bit of a bite to the way he had said that.
You said to me last time that you would think on it.
Mm-hmm.
Have you thought on it any further?
I have.
What's your decision?
A conclusion has not been reached.
Nor should it now.
I think yes. There is a sense to being careful with powerful magics, but they can also do for all the bad they can do. They can also do great good.
Mm. Yes, certain elements of that magic could do great good. Certain elements could not. If we could simply give the good parts, then that would be a most pleasurable outcome. Unfortunately, giving just the good parts to the gnomes, I think, would result in them simply discovering the bad parts slightly later on.
He listens to what you're saying, doesn't nod or he just clearly is listening.
Well, it is something that is. Once we know the full details, definitely needs to be discussed in a much broader sense. May even have more voices then to pitch in.
He nods again and says, "Very well then. I think we've come to an agreement." And he extends his hands and he goes to shake all of yours, but he shakes Neil's first, Rayrin's first. Okay, so you guys come to your agreement and so on. Unless there's any other discussions that are going to be happen, the 72 hours are up. And he comes stepping back out of, like, almost like fading in as he's taking a step forward. Like he seems to step in from somewhere. And he says, well, time is done. And he looks about because you're more or less exactly where you were last time he had seen you, but considerably less clothing and a fire nearby to dry your clothing with and stuff like that. He steps out and he goes, and strangely exactly where I'd left you before. Have we come to a
I've only
conclusion?
been gone for like 5 minutes.
Have we come to a conclusion?
Yes, I believe so. He's like, he was about to say that. He's like, double check. Yes, I believe so. This. Nope.
Rayrin crosses his arms and gives him a nod.
We are going to choose this keep. We are going to start here.
This keep here. Very well then. Good lands. You spent time exploring them. Did you fall in love with their charm?
They are quite something.
I unfortunately didn't really think of it like that.
There's a lot of potential too.
I always did love this keep. I have a fondness here. As a man in my day, I spent much time hunting in the forests of this keep. Laid many an elk low. It was fond memories. I think you've made a wonderful selection with choosing this keep here. Now,
It sounds like a salesman.
as for
You've made a wonderful selection.
Now, along with our full keep package, we also have...
he was gonna say something nice with anywhere you chose, like, oh, this random plot of dust. I'll tell you. So, anyways, you.
Well, it's already flat, I suppose. With nothing to flatten and nothing to chop down.
So, anyways, he does say. He does say to you. Fuck. Sorry, I forgot because you're being dumb. He
Or
does
did you
say
forget
the
because you were
kingdom.
being dumb?
The kingdom that you're going to be establishing here. Have we thought of a name for this kingdom?
Oh, shit.
Or at least a space filler. Perhaps a name for your town, if not your kingdom yet.
Chad has not been helping us with this.
They
Chad
actually
needed to help us.
threw like 20 options
Yes.
earlier. Yeah.
Let's
Oh, yeah.
call this town... how about we go for something really simple and basic, like Fortree. 2 T's.
He looks to the others. The other two, not Elliot.
He turns to one when one looks a bit confused. You see, it's a combination of fort and tree. 2 T's.
2 T's.
I think it fits.
Sure.
So you say Fort Tree. And he says that is the name of the town, not the name of the nation. Correct.
Indeed.
Yes.
Okay. 1 second. Fort Tree. Forttree. Correct.
2 T's. Fortrees.
Oh,
Sorry, no S.
Okay. Yeah.
That's Fortree.
Gotcha. So I'm gonna put Fort Tree here right now, but that's obviously not the name of the kingdom. He goes, very well then. Fort Tree it is. Then my next question for you: have you decided upon how it is that you're going to rule this government? You had said something beforehand about a triumvirate of gods. Sorry, a trinity of gods.
Yes, we're intending to have a pantheon, a tribunal.
Tribunal it is. And then for yourselves, what titles you've given yourselves?
Where were they? Someone said really good titles. in
Somebody
chat.
actually said regent and then named the 3 different regencies.
Yeah,
Regent
it was
speaker,
awesome.
regent priest, and regent overseer. Kind of funny, actually, if you think about, and this might actually speak to your character, Tesh. In the Paradel, they actually have a position called the Turumbar. It's the Turumbar Triumvirate. So each Turumbar is like one of the 3 kings that rule the nation. And it's kind of funny, actually, because they have a specific name. So, hold on, where do I have that actually written down? Give me 1 second. So, is it under, where are you? Common. Bam. So, for instance, they have Turumba Harwe, Turumba Lungtha, and Turumba Varima. And those names are always the same, no matter who is the ruler. So the Turumba Harwe is always Turumba Harwe. That's always what they're referred to, no matter who the person is that holds that position. So it's kind of funny. If you went with the shtick that, who was it that just said that before? Abusive Naga had said beforehand. The regent speaker, the regent priest, the regent overseer, or some... It's actually very Perrin feeling, which is kind of funny because that's kind of what you personally were shooting for.
I kind of
What's
like that.
what are the leaders of Kijinsi? What are they?
The Kijinsi. So warlord, chief, war chief. You know, depending on the tribe, they all have their own names. But you know, the Orcish version of that. Some of them are called, you know, the.
Is there one leader?
The
of
dead killer? You know, something
nation?
like that. Oh, Kijinsi,
there-
the actual nation. Yes, my apologies.
Yeah.
You're not thinking of the orcs. You're thinking of the nation. I'm sorry, king. Yeah.
Okay.
Some people refer to them as king. Some people refer to them as like high chief or like war chief. So it depends on who, like how traditional they are, but king. Very, very traditional. It's up to you guys. What do you want to go with here?
I like the regent ones, honestly.
I also like the regents. I don't necessarily like regent overseer or regent priest.
Either do I. One would say it kind of sounds a bit too Perrin for his liking, but you know, this is a triumvirate, so.
What other things do you think you could see for the names?
Perhaps we should focus on the religious aspect.
We could be the chosen, or some variation of it.
Especially if you're always going to maintain those gods, even if your characters were to die in the future. You'd be literally the chosen of Vrogar, chosen of the Martyr, and chosen of either Winifred or Orenda. You can choose either name. Her name is Winifred Orenda.
But perhaps we should make it more simple for the commoners to interpret, such as chosen of the sword, chosen of the pen, chosen of the chosen of the faith, chosen of the
What was
say,
the Martyr? Yeah.
chosen of the tongue. He grins at Valorant.
That's a weird one.
Chosen of the Hearth. Wow, that's I won't lie, Silencio. That wasn't a bad one.
That's not bad, yeah.
So the sword, the pen, a sword quill, maybe as opposed to pen, the sword, the quill, and the hearth. You can almost see that. You can almost see like a hearth with like a sword above it and like a pen on the mantle. You know what I mean? Like
No, you have the sword plunged into the hearth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With a pen resting in front of it. I kind of like that. Do you? Because that's you, Valorant. Do you like the hearth?
Yeah. No, I think I do.
And do you like Chosen of the Sword?
Me?
Yeah.
Or Chosen of the Blade, if you'd
Chosen of the
rather.
Blade, yeah.
Yeah, that
Oh,
one.
because it's an axe. Yeah, specifically.
Yeah,
it's an axe.
Chosen of the Blade's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you see like an axe embedded into the hearth, sort of a thing. Okay. Awesome. And so you say Chosen of the Chosen. So announce exactly what your titles would be called. Then are we saying the Chosen?
Yeah. I think so, yeah.
I think so.
And that image would be a really good, thing for our to hang on our tapestries and all that stuff. The symbol of our nation.
Thinking about the future, should we die and then new people take the place, it would not be a case of like the children would inherit. It would be figuring out who would be the next chosen of the thing, which I think is a much better way of doing it anyway.
Yeah, that's the whole idea of the whole idea of like with a theocracy. Usually, it's not
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, just make sure I get this correct for you guys before we move on from here. Oh shit. Okay. And last thing is, and what did we say it was?
Chosen one. Just like, I was going through each of our names and then I got to think of one and I just couldn't help it. It was so good.
When it breaks that up like that. So how does that look for you guys? Sorry that I wrote it twice. It's just because of the way that it broke up my text. So
yeah.
For shorthand, COTB, COTBQ, COTQ, COTH. Chosen a blade, chosen the quill, chosen the hearth. Do you want to make any alterations to that? Or are we happy?
No, I quite like that.
Okay, awesome. Then should we change those names inside the actual positions? One is going to be chosen of the hearth.
I'd keep them just the actual position in brackets just afterwards. Just because we may end up switching about, and we want to make sure that we're not confusing ourselves.
Okay.
I think I quite like this as well for the idea that I am the one that's slightly leaning good, and that's why half.
Well, the martyrs' realms are home.
Yeah.
And protection.
I really like that. And then we have Blade. That one doesn't need explanatory. And then Rayron, who's proven himself quite clever when it comes to like actual like thinking things through, not just acting on.
It's a big thick quill, and I will jam it in your throat. It's sharp.
The first thing one and Rayron do is design and build a catapult.
You need a quill from our bird friend. What are the feathers of the bird friend?
Rayron, Marshall.
Man, imagine the commoners seeing us fly in that thing. It's like, oh, okay.
Especially how good we look, like all three of us on it at the same time.
I like how you've until we all fall off when it accelerates.
Don't need to add that part. We'll fall off above the roof, so they won't see it.
That's ridiculous. And then where's your character? One, your high priest. So this is going to be chosen. What are you again? Blade. Which is funny that the priest is chosen of the blade. You know what I mean?
I did keep those feathers, actually. Have I written them down in here? I know I wrote them down on one of my notes.
Are we going to have symbols of office? I know it's not necessarily important yet, but we probably ought to generate.
Coat of arms and stuff like that is important too, but we don't actually have to worry about that quite just yet. So why don't we start moving forward? So he says, very well then. While the kingdom is in its earliest phases, its infancy, nearly an inception to spread forth into the lands, you currently are going to be residing over these ruins here that will henceforth be known as Fortree. The three of you being the regents of this new theocracy, the chosen of the blade, the chosen of the hearth, and the chosen of the quill, each representative of your own deities. To whatever degree you are faithful to those gods, I imagine mirrors whatever degree of faithful other rulers have been to their gods in the past. And I imagine many more in the future. Well, then let it be known. And he actually takes his hands over to like his mouth for a second, and he says, and let it be known. And he like gestures forward, and you literally hear, like, as a gust of winds, not like a huge gust, but it's a gentle gust of wind breezes by you guys, a echoing, let it be known, let it be known, let it be known. As it spreads forward, literally on the winds, and outwards, you can feel the air kind of like going in all directions out of the keep. It lasts for like a second or two, and then it kind of like subsides. And he says, I imagine there's an incredible amount of work that you need to be done, that needs to be done. There are assets that you're going to have to acquire for you to accomplish this task. Understand that as people are coming to you, some of them will come to you bringing these assets. One particular person I know is going to be carrying assets for you because, well, they owe it. The person, you may not like them, you may not trust them, but much as I will not allow anybody to thrust a dagger into your back for a period of time, I can assure you that they will work with you well enough for a period of time. You can trust them for now. Be prepared. Over the coming weeks, there will be those arriving, working for you. If I may make a suggestion, as you're beginning to build your kingdom, why don't you start slowly working on rebuilding this? A castle has great significance, and you have the bones of it. You're not building one from scratch. The foundation has been dug and set and holds and it holds intact very well. The walls are already there, even if it needs repairing. Sure, you need new stairs and railings, perhaps new doors and windows, but most of the work is done. Make this something you work on.
Yes. He turns to the others. It's quite a mess in the basement I need to clean up.
With that, he steps back and fades away. As do the rest of us as we take our next break.
The name!
We'll see you shortly.
He doesn't remember the name.
No, he does. He just hasn't told us yet.
Bye.
We're calling him Oim.